The Smurl haunting 13 years of terror inside a Pennsylvania home, where a demonic entity tormented a family with violence, voices, and shadows that refused to let them escape. In 1973, Jack and Janet Smurl thought they'd finally found their dream home on Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. It was a two-story duplex built in the 1800s, with cracked white paint, squeaky floors, and a faint smell of old wood. Jack's parents, John and Mary, lived in the adjoining half. For a working-class family, it was perfect. At first, life was normal. Children laughing, Janet humming in the kitchen, and Jack fixing things around the house. But by the second month, something started to feel wrong. Janet was the first to notice it. One night, while folding laundry, she heard the sound of footsteps upstairs. Thinking it was the children, she climbed the creaky staircase, only to find all three daughters fast asleep. From then on, the noises came daily. Footsteps, dragging sounds, and whispers in the walls. At first, they blamed old plumbing or mice, but the noises got louder. One night, Janet heard her name whispered in the dark. Janet, she froze, clutching the sheets. Jack? Was that you? Jack stirred beside her. What are you talking about? From the hallway came a low thump, as if someone had slammed a fist on the wall. Over the following weeks, the house became hostile. Shadows moved where no light fell. The temperature would drop without reason, leaving cold, damp patches in random spots of the house. Janet found deep scratches on the walls, like claw marks, though the children swore they hadn't done it. Even their dog began growling at empty corners, refusing to enter certain rooms. By 1974, strange events had turned into attacks. Jack was working in the basement when something shoved him from behind. He fell, bruising his ribs. When he spun around, he saw only shadows. Janet, he said later, holding an ice pack to his side. There's something down there. It wasn't just Jack. The girls woke screaming at night, claiming someone had pulled their hair or whispered to them in strange voices. One evening, as the family ate dinner, the kitchen light exploded in a burst of glass and sparks. A guttural laugh echoed in the room, though no one was there. We need a priest, Janet said, pale and trembling. A local priest visited, sprinkling holy water and reciting blessings. For a few days, the house fell silent. Then the smell began. It was sulfuric, foul, like rotting meat. No amount of cleaning removed it. It clung to their clothes, their furniture, their skin. Then came the worst night yet. Janet woke in the early hours to find herself pinned to the bed. Invisible hands gripped her wrists and ankles, pressing her into the mattress. A cold breath brushed her ear as a voice growled. You can't get rid of me. She screamed for Jack, who burst in to see his wife thrashing as if fighting an invisible assailant. He yanked her free, but she was left with bruises on her arms. That was the moment Jack believed. The activity didn't stop, it grew worse. Doors slammed violently even when locked. Drawers yanked open, flinging utensils across the kitchen. One afternoon, Janet saw the figure for the first time. She was folding towels when something moved in the doorway. It was a shadow, taller than any person she knew, shaped like a man but featureless. She screamed, and the shadow vanished. The next night, Jack was assaulted in his sleep. He woke to find an invisible weight pressing on his chest. His breath caught in his throat as if unseen hands were squeezing him. What do you want? He gasped, but the only response was a guttural growl and a sharp scratch across his back. The children were suffering too. Their youngest daughter, Dawn, began talking to someone named Blackie. When asked, she said, He's my friend. He tells me things. What kind of things? Janet asked gently. He says he wants to hurt Daddy. The family tried ignoring it, but it only made things worse. Knocking sounds became deafening. The smell of sulfur would fill the entire house, making them nauseous. Finally, in 1977, they called the Catholic Church again. This time, their pleas reached the local diocese, but priests remained skeptical. With nowhere else to turn, the Smurls contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, famed paranormal investigators known for cases like the Amityville Horror. The Warrens arrived with a small team, bringing cameras, audio recorders, and crucifixes. Lorraine, a self-proclaimed clairvoyant, walked through the house, her face pale. There's something dark here, she said. Not a ghost, a demon. Feeds on your fear. Over several nights, the Warrens documented terrifying phenomena. Objects moved across rooms on their own. The recording picked up a guttural voice saying, Leave. Cold spots appeared instantly, dropping temperatures by 20 degrees. Ed himself was attacked during one session. He felt 3 scratches burn across his chest, as if a clawed hand had raked him. The Warrens performed a series of prayers and attempted exorcisms, but the entity fought back violently. One night, while Janet and Lorraine prayed in the kitchen, a dark mist formed in the corner. It thickened into a shadow with glowing red eyes. It lunged forward, slamming the table so hard it cracked. Lorraine shouted, "In the name of God, leave this house." The shadow dissolved, but the damage to the table remained. By the mid-1980s, the Smurls were living in constant fear. The entity began to physically assault Jack and Janet during the night, leaving scratches and bruises. Janet reported being violated by an unseen force, held down and taunted. Jack claimed he felt the same, attacked in ways he refused to describe publicly. The children saw things too. Hideous faces peering from corners, hands reaching out from walls. Their dog whimpered constantly and eventually had to be rehomed for its safety. Neighbors began hearing strange noises from the Smurl house. Screams, banging, and a voice growling words in Latin. The Warrens brought in Father Robert McKenna, a traditionalist priest skilled in exorcisms. During one intense session, the house seemed to come alive. The windows rattled violently. The walls vibrated like a drum. A deep, inhuman laugh echoed through every room. Father McKenna sprinkled holy water, his voice unwavering as he commanded the demon to leave. For hours, the family prayed as objects flew and lights flickered. Finally, silence. But it was only temporary. In 1986, after 13 years of torment, the Smurls decided to leave Chase Street. They packed what little they could and moved, hoping the nightmare would end. For a time, the activity followed them. Janet would wake at night to the sound of footsteps or feel the familiar chill of a presence near her. But slowly, the attacks stopped. The Smurl haunting became national news after the Warrens went public with the case. Skeptics claimed it was a hoax, but those who visited the house often reported strange phenomena. Some said the smell of sulfur still lingered in certain rooms. Janet later said, "We didn't want fame. We didn't want money. We just wanted peace. But what we lived through, it changes you. You never feel safe again." To this day, paranormal investigators who visit the old Smurl home report unexplained noises, sudden temperature drops, and the occasional sighting of a dark shadow moving through the rooms. Some say the demon was never banished. It simply sleeps, waiting for a new family to call the house their home.